This video and channel is for adult collectors only. Before we get into the video, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. I mean, come on, what are you doing if you're not subbed to me by now? My content is fire, from stop motions, news videos, reviews, music occasionally. All my social media accounts are linked down below, and now, let's get straight to it. Okay, hello and welcome to the stop motion review of Studio Series Leader Class Rise of the Beast SCOURGE. We're going to talk about the look of the figure, pros and cons, articulation, vehicle mode, blah blah blah, all that good stuff, so let's get right into it. This figure is pretty cool. I dig his design, except for a few things, which I will definitely cover later. The sculpt work, the cracks on his blade there, the chains all over the body, some asymmetrical details, just very wicked looking. And where the paint is works well, but I do gotta say right here, right now, that it could use some more paint work. I'm not gonna lie, to break up, you know, some more silver paint up in there, or just something extra, because I mean, there's just not a lot of paint on this guy for whatever reason. Taking a closer look at the head sculpt, it's really cool. It's got a mix of G1 SCOURGE up in there with sort of a mustache type detailing. The silver paint is nice. It's got some orange light piping. The neck is a little bit too long, but it does have some sculpted details, but I do not like the ball joint up in there. You can just clearly see it. But the thing with the neck, going back to that, it could still be in the movie. I mean, we just see one shot, but people are like saying, it's not accurate, his neck is way too long, but we just don't know for sure yet, but it could be, it still could be. The claw hand can open up, which is pretty sick, to reveal some details inside, which is sculpted very nicely as well. And he does have a gun, which you can plug in. There's a port right there, a hole in the gun. You just plug it together, and there you go. It's in his arm, and that looks pretty cool. I dig the sculpted details. I like the round shape of it. It looks dope in a good way. And there is pew 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 abilities right there. You can plug in some effects, and I dig the way that looks when you do it. The blade is nice. You can accordion it out on a couple hinges and flip it into his hand. It's on a 5mm slot that looks completely menacing when you do so. You can also detach the blade if you don't want it on his arm, because I don't think in the movie he'll have it 24/7. So you can tab it in the leg, which also gives the leg some extra bulk, which I think is kind of needed, because the legs do look a bit small and skinny in certain angles. And I like this look a lot with the blade stored in his gun arm. Got quite a few display options, and sometimes this is how I display him. Articulation time! Let's just take a minute to appreciate the soft ratchet joint they put in the knees. Oh, such a satisfying noise. And his arm is a tight enough joint where you could hold a deluxe class transformer up like how you see in the first teaser trailer from December. I don't have that Bumblebee figure just yet. I don't know if I will get him, but here you have Cybertronian Jazz as a placeholder. The fact that they used a clear plastic hinge for the ball joint within his neck is just absolutely ridiculous. Just by moving him around, there's already some stress marks in there with that ball joint. Now, I am not a person to manhandle my figures. Disclaimer, I have figures from 20-some years ago with no stress marks on them. This is absolutely ridiculous. Come on, Hasbro, do better. Kind of a minor issue, but the hips on him are a tad loose than what I'd like them to be. And the claw joints are a little bit loose, but not terrible, because there are thooping joints in there. In terms of the smokestacks, they do sit a bit too tall, I think, and he might not even have smokestacks anymore in his final CG design that we're going to see in a month and a half in the movie. So I don't know about the smokestacks. I guess time will tell if he does have them or not, and how high they sit up on him. The backpack is also a bit much in my opinion. I think they could have done some extra hinges or something. I mean, this is a $60 leader class, and this backpack is a bit ridiculous. From certain angles, it's not terrible. but from other angles, it does stick out like a sore thumb, the stuff hanging at the bottom where the smokestack hinges are. And the fake trailer hitch and wheel details up on his thighs have got to go, especially when he doesn't even have a trailer hitch in vehicle mode and his wheels are already at the bottom of his legs. So jarring and weird if you notice them because they're not painted. Now for some comparisons slash size comparisons, here he is with his original counterpart Scourge, where this version of the character is mostly based off of, and it's crazy how they kept some, changes, that he's black and he has a truck alt mode. It's just crazy what Transformers is able to do 20 years apart with how they reinvent characters. And here he is with his fellow Terracon buddy Battletrap, and I think these two look good together. I don't know how good the scale is, how accurate it is, because we obviously haven't seen them together too much yet, but this look looks great so far. Transformation time! His truck mode is, well, evil looking. I mean, it looks like the Peterbilt in the movie from what we could tell. A few issues I have with it, but not too bad. I dig the sculpt and the chain details on the smokestacks. The back, though, falls apart with the big hollow spot with the legs and the hands just hanging out is crazy on a $60 liter class. But I guess in certain scenes and angles and lighting, it just looks like junk in the back, I guess, copium. And the smokestacks are a bit floppier than I'd want. They don't tab in, so it's kinda annoying. His gun has some sick weapon storage. You angle the sides out, flip the one side around, angle the panels out, and there's two rectangular holes that tab into those two nubs. And I like this a lot. It's actually accurate to the back pieces in the movie. Kinda sorta, but not really, helps fill in or bulk the back up just a tad. Just really clever weapon storage. The hollow section in the cab I'm not too big of a fan of. I guess it sort of represents the glowing nature that his original CG model and concept art used to have, but that seems to not be in the movie anymore, so I just don't think it's a cool gimmick here. I don't like it. Hey, at least every single wheel on him is pinned in though, right? That's always a plus. And for some vehicle mode comparisons, here is the original truck Scourge, and wow, what an example of taking something evil and badass from decades ago and making it even more creepy and badass for 2023. Oh, by the way, I love the faction symbol details on his grill. Absolutely wild that he takes badges from the ones he kills. What an edgelord, am I right? And here he's next to Battletrap. You may be wondering why he's facing down in robot mode. That's because I absolutely hate the transformation. Spoiler alert for his future stop motion review. But yeah, don't judge me. Why is the Terracon logo on his crotch? And here's his cardboard backdrop. I'm using a stock image because I don't feel like taking it out of the box because I hate these cardboard backdrops. There you go. Okay, so my closing thoughts on Scourge here. He is a pretty decent leader class. He does feel a little lacking in terms of features and accessories and in the transformation. Articulation's a little lacking too. I mean, no wrist swivel on either arm, especially when we see the claw arm spinning in the trailer, is a bit lazy to me. Could use some extra paint, the hand sticking out in vehicle mode, all the clear plastic in vehicle mode too, like the whole back section that forms the cab and the front windows is clear plastic. It's absolutely ridiculous. I just don't think the $60 price tag is completely warranted for this guy. In terms of sculpt and him just standing there, he looks badass and menacing, like there's no doubt about that. The chain details is nice, like I've said twice before earlier in this video. The weapon weapons are cool, what we have of it anyway. I think he just needs a bit more, I don't know, beefiness in robot mode, or something extra to the transformation to get rid of that backpack to really warrant him being a leader class, because as is, I could definitely see him just being a Voyager class. Like, this feels like a Voyager class we would have gotten during, say, Revenge of the Fallen. Now, I know it's different times, but it is what it is. So, my final thoughts on this guy: he's a cool leader class, but with flaws, and that's not really worth the leader class price tag to me. I would wait until he's down to like $35, $40 maybe. But yeah, I'd give him a 7 to a 7.5 out of 10. That's my stop motion review on leader class Scourge. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next one. Bye. Stay tuned on the channel. My next stop motion review is going to be on the Studio Series Gamer Edition Voyager class Optimus Prime. Can't wait to take a look at this guy with you guys. So yeah, bye.